What's up, family? It's your man, CRB Jr., Courtney Robert Brown Jr., here at Big Boss Filmworks, Motown Mafia podcast with Big Lou Stevens, back behind the camera for our New York mission. We're in the Big Apple to take some meetings that we will discuss the outcome of at a later date. We figured since we were in New York, the city that was so nice, they had to name it twice, that we'd unpack some of the story, again, of the New York portion of the 40-year family story that has started with, of course, Pops and Eddie back in the 70s, leading to me and Eddie Baby coming of age in the 80s, all the way through our runs in the 90s, all the way to the turn of the century. So many of my New York experiences and the contacts that would end up weaving into this story, into my business career, the people I know and things I've been able to do, go back to Columbia University. So we're here in front of Alma Mater, right in front of the library here, right in the heart of the campus at Columbia. So it's 1987 I moved to New York, October 1987. This is following the summer of 87. I got pulled off the plane by the DEA on my way leaving Miami International on the way down to the Bahamas to see Basil Miller, the old man's mega whale Bohemian Connection, right? So after the DEA interrogation, Mr. B, Pops, the lawyers come to the conclusion that it was a random thing, that the situation hadn't been compromised, that the feds really didn't know what we were doing. Timing was bad, some things with the tickets, they got me and Pops confused, me being Courtney Brown Jr., him being Courtney Brown, boom, boom, that led to all the confusion. But Mr. B is like, you can't be coming back to the Bahamas now, or we will get compromised, but I still want you to handle getting me my bread. So he's got some bankers down in Midtown that he had been working with for years that are professionals at what they call money laundering, rinsing the money, right? You get them cash, they run it through some different companies. Next thing you know, he's getting a bank wire in the Bahamas or a cashier's check or some stocks or bearer bonds, however they worked it out on their end. So a good homeboy of mine, shout out to James Coleman, AKA Jimmy Stein, JC Coleman. You've heard me speak about him in the past. You've heard Eddie Baby speak about him. He's one of our day one mellow men. But Jimmy was a hell of a basketball player, and he was playing ball here at the Columbia basketball team. So as I'm on this mission for Pops, it hits me that, hey, my man is up here at Columbia. I need to holler at him. I catch up with Jimmy. We reconnect. Come to find out now, I'm thinking sometimes working for the old man, I got $80,000, $100,000 with me that I got to get to the bankers, but sometime it might be a day or two delayed. So I don't want to stay cramped up in the hotel room waiting for the bankers to give me the okay to come drop off the cash. So relatively secure. This is an Ivy League university surrounded by very, very affluent children of the ruling class of America. Jimmy got a safe room by himself. I can lock up the bread in his room and we can go hang out. Well, as all this is unfolding, he ends up introducing me to some of the people who live in his dorm. One is a guy by the name of Ben Horowitz, who would go on to me and him would become friends. Ben would go on to become the billionaire that he is today, one of the bosses of Silicon Valley. Shout out to Ben, shout out to Ben Horowitz, shout out to Steve Silverstein, another just A1 brain business guy. Steve's done all kind of things in the commodity space. Another ironic connection that was made here. There was a white boy running around campus wearing a Def Jam Letterman jacket. His name was Peter Nash. You guys might know him as Prime Minister Pete Nice of third base. I remember when Pete was running around talking about he was having lunch with Russell Simmons, and white boy wearing a Letterman jacket. Pete had a nice basketball game too. He played with Jimmy, actually on the team. And that would lead to you later when third base got big, whenever they'd come to town, we'd be hooking up with them. The smallness of the world. Another guy on Jimmy's basketball team was a brother named Tony Childs. Shout out to Tony Childs, who's got an older brother you guys may be familiar with by the name of Kevin Childs. Of course, Don Diva fame. Great book about that street life too, the crack era. Shout out again, as always, to the big homie Kevin Childs. Our paths would cross later in life. It was right over there, right out the gates of 116 in Broadway that Tony was telling me that his brother Kevin was grieving on him, how dangerous it was getting. This is right when that Alpo thing was going on, and when Tony explained to me what was popping with that situation, that really made me know that I needed to keep a low profile. Here in New York, I didn't need to let people know that I was working for this big fella known as my father out of Detroit. And that was some real good looking, because that little tidbit of how the streets of Harlem was working really kept me in my lane and kept me from doing some things that could have got me in trouble. But yeah, man, Columbia was our stash spot for the bag often. We met some contacts here that would go on to be lifelong friends. Money Walt Haney out of Florida. Money Walt was roommates with Tony Childs, who was Kevin Childs' younger brother. Money Walt would go on and introduce me, would end up, of course, running the point, bringing in acts for the clubs. Mike Epps, our club in Detroit. Mike Epps, Cheryl Underwood, J.B. Smooth, Darnell Rawling. That whole crew, that all come through Money Walt. That's another Columbia connection. You guys heard me and Eddie Baby speak about a brother called Big Ed, not Big Ed Hanson of Detroit. Shout out to Big Ed Hanson of Detroit, but Big Ed out the Bronx, had a fly club down at Indigo Blues right in the theater district. We're gonna go down there and shoot some contact. All that stuff stemmed from catching back up with Jimmy Coleman here at Columbia University, doing my internship for my dad, getting Mr. Basil Miller his money from the Detroit Bohemian Run. So, check this content out. We're gonna do the whole little series of the whole New York internship, all the people we met.
Man, don't interrupt the take.
Oh shit, we got what's happening, family? You all right?
Yeah, y'all got a permit?
We gonna talk to the dean right after we done shooting.
No, it's all good.
Oh, good. So yeah, it's all good. Another Contact Wanna Lose family just pulled up. So so this is gonna be a part of a special series we're gonna be running on Patreon. But if you guys are checking out some of this on YouTube, make sure you're hitting that like, share, and subscribe button. We appreciate the support. We got the review of 2022 coming up. We got a lot of hot stuff coming up. You guys may have seen the trailer and teaser rather for Motown Mafia Part 2, the docu-series, the YBI era. All that is going down. So just holler at your man. So for Big Boss Filmworks, for Motown Mafia, for Big Lou Stevens, it's your man, CRB Jr. Live, Columbia University. Me and Alma Mater hanging out, doing what we do. Holler at your man. Peace.